example, local production increased by 60%. According to the latest statistics from the Bank of Ghana, our rice import bill fell by a whopping 41%, reducing from $467.2 million in 2013 to $275.1 million in 2014. On my fraternal visit as ECOWAS chairman to our sister countries of Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Guinea at the height of the Ebola crisis, I donated 100 tons of food products to the three countries. Prominent among these products was a long-grain, made-in-Ghana rice brand called Pride. A clear evidence of the pride I felt in presenting our own homegrown variety of rice to our neighbors in their time of difficulty. It is expected that as the transformation agenda gains traction, we'll be able to reduce our import bill on other commodities as well, and indeed be able to export some of the surplus. Mr. Speaker, 2 weeks ago, I constituted a task force chaired by a former deputy governor of the Bank of Ghana to work on the modalities for the establishment of a Ghana Export and Import Bank. This bank will consolidate all past efforts and become the key engine of the development of Ghana's exports. The Ghana Exim Bank will act as an intermediary between government and exporters and assist our exporters to compete internationally by providing insurance and finance facilities to support their overseas contracts. Mr. Speaker, in Komenda, in the central region, a new sugar factory is under construction. When completed, this factory will enable us to reduce significantly the over $300 million we spend annually on sugar imports. We'll also be able to support local industries such as beverage and ice cream manufacturers who require large quantities of sugar for their products. Ghana imports on average 375,000 metric tons of sugar annually. In addition to the Komenda factory, discussions have been concluded for another sugar estate and factory in the northern region. Put together, the two plants should be able to reduce by more than 80% our import bill of sugar in the coming years. The establishment of these sugar plants will also create employment opportunities, especially for the youth in the host communities. The Komenda Sugar Factory alone, it is estimated, will create 7,300 direct and indirect jobs. That is in addition to the savings on foreign exchange it will afford us. Mr. Speaker, the poultry subsector is one of the subsectors receiving major government attention and benefiting from a policy to invest in strategic sectors to produce locally some of the products on which we are currently expending a huge amount of foreign exchange. 1 year on, we have launched the 20 million broiler project with a target to reduce the importation of poultry by 40% by the end of next year and save this economy about $150 million. Indeed, the latest statistics show that we have begun to achieve a drop in poultry imports. It is estimated that we have achieved a drop of 30% in poultry imports from $208.7 million to $149 million. Our poultry farmers are already reaping the benefits associated with the increased demand for their products on the domestic market as a result of this policy. The financial support to poultry farmers, the financial support to poultry farmers, just a minute. The financial support we are giving to poultry farmers is enabling them increase their production to feed the local market. Mr. Speaker, our poultry farmers are already reaping the benefits associated with the increased demand for their products on the domestic market as a result of this policy. And as I was saying, the financial support to poultry farmers from the exports Development and Agricultural Investment Fund is helping them reorganize their business and produce to meet local demand. This year, an additional 200 poultry farmers will receive financial support as part of the broiler project. Mr. Speaker, Ghana government has also extended support of 51 million Ghana cedis to a number of local pharmaceutical companies to expand their operations, to retool their factories, and obtain critical certification to enable them meet international export standards. My working visits to NS Chemists and Tobinco Pharmaceuticals reaffirmed my belief in what Ghanaian industry can do when given the needed support. And I'm proud of the dominant role of indigenous Ghanaian entrepreneurs in this particular sector of industry. This healthy partnership with our pharmaceutical companies, including Danex and Dan Adams, will continue and will be extended to other sectors to generate more work for the youth of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, these successes have been attained within the context of a transition to a lower middle income country status and its attendant challenges, which include dwindling access to grants and concessionary financing from our development partners and a growing demand for essential social services by a growing and affluent middle class. Notwithstanding the recent macroeconomic challenges we face, investor confidence in Ghana has continued to grow as a result of measures introduced to stabilize the economy. Last year, inflows from foreign direct investments stood at $3.57 billion from 184 projects. The oversubscription of the 2014 US $1 billion Euro bond, as well as the 1.7 billion syndicated loan for cocoa purchases, is a further testimony of investor confidence in our economy. Our subsequent market activities will target the development of infrastructure and the refinancing of the 2007 Euro bond. The $7 billion agreement for the development of the Sankofa field is easily, as I said previously, the single largest investment made in our petroleum sector to date. Mr. Speaker, in order to achieve policy certainty and attain broad support for our homegrown economic policies, we decided in August 2014 to open discussions with the International Monetary Fund for a 3-year extended credit facility. As I address you this morning, negotiations are being concluded with an IMF mission team here in Accra. And later this afternoon, I expect an announcement of a positive outcome of these discussions. Mr. Speaker, we've come this far as a result of the very fruitful stakeholder consultations during the National Economic Forum, which was held at Senchi in the Eastern region in May 2014. This forum gave valuable input into government's fiscal consolidation policy and proved very useful in our negotiations with the IMF. I wish to express the nation's gratitude to all those who made the forum possible, all those who attended, including some of you members of parliament. Among many others, may I express the nation's gratitude to Her Ladyship, the Chief Justice, who was present, to our former President, Jerry John Rawlings, who was present, to the Secretary General of the TUC and the many labor leaders, to the President of the Association of Ghana Industries, who was also present, to Mr. Kwame Pienim, Dr. Kwesi Botwe, and Dr. Patrick Ewa of Ashesi University, and the late Sir Engineer Paul Victor Obeng, who regrettably passed on only a day after the Senchi Consensus was arrived at. May his soul rest in perfect peace. I also wish to commend the members of my Presidential Advisory Group on the Economy. Mr. Kwame Pienim features here again, Nana Oye Mansa, Dr. K.Y. Amwakon, Dr. Kwesi Botwe, Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Kofi Wampa, and of course, Seth Tekpe, and most of all, my hardworking Vice President, Kwesi Bekwin Emisata. I have really benefited and continue to benefit from their tireless efforts and their invaluable advice. Mr. Speaker, may I at this point commend our tripartite partners, organized labor and employers, for the understanding and sacrifice that culminated in an early conclusion of this year's wage negotiations. and in particular for keeping the wage level within the budgeted limits. It demonstrates a commitment by our social partners to work collectively to improve the economy for our common good. Collaboration with our social partners has seen a decline of the public sector wage bill as a percentage of tax revenues from a high of 73% in 2012 to 49% at the end of 2014. We still have some way to go if we are to hit the recommended ECOWAS benchmark of 35%. Meanwhile, the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission is expected to finalize work on the Category 2 and 3 allowances. Aggressive work is continuing on cleaning the payroll and ridding it of ghosts. Cabinet approved the recommendations of the Interministerial Subcommittee and would work with the private sector and our development partners to achieve a human resource management information system and a payroll that is decentralized and has integrity. Cabinet approved additional measures in order to make adjustments to the budget following the dramatic decline in crude oil prices. It is estimated that Ghana stands to lose approximately $700 million from oil exports if prices remain at the current levels. I've asked the Minister of Finance to engage with you, honorable members, on these new measures. Mr. Speaker, as we did with the Sankofa ENI Vitol gas agreement, other critical projects such as the GE Ghana 1000 project will be supported by partial risk guarantees approved by Cabinet and approved by this August Parliament. These alternative guarantee instruments will be issued by the World Bank and the African Development Bank. Government is working to strengthen, Mr. Speaker, the National Pensions Regulatory Authority to give it a greater degree of autonomy and decentralize its operations in the regions. A strategic plan for the MPRA will be launched this year. I'm confident that unresolved issues such as the unification and past credit and governance structures to manage the Tier 2 pensions will be addressed this year to the satisfaction of all parties. I wish to assure all pensioners of the safety of and better investment returns on their pension funds. I advocate an enhanced relationship of trust with Ghanaian workers, a partnership and collective action anchored in the national interest. On our part, we pledge to continue to work to achieve the strictest discipline in government expenditure. In this regard, new initiatives will be rolled out this year to prevent the misuse of government fuel, telephone, electricity, and water utilities in our public establishments. Mr. Speaker, in 2014, agriculture, industry, and services sector continued on a trajectory of positive growth with significant output in the fisheries, livestock, and construction subsectors. It is worth noting that manufacturing has been identified as a major area where critical attention is needed. I'm as a strategy positioning Ghana to attract investors in the light industry area who are currently looking for new destinations away from the increasing cost centers of China and other parts of Southeast Asia. Food security and to assure of appreciable returns on their investments, government will distribute 180,000 metric tons of fertilizer and continue with the agricultural mechanization program to make available in the districts 1,000 implements, including harvesters, threshers, reapers, planters, and sprayers for use by farmers. More than 120 million Ghana cedis has been made available to the rice, poultry, shea, cashew, and other agro-processing subsectors to boost production. Out of this, the rice production subsector alone received 22 million Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, over 60% of animal protein in the diets of Ghanaians is fish. Indeed, annual fish consumption in Ghana is about 24 kilograms per person, which is said to be above the world average of 16.7 kilograms per person. Our demand for fish outstrips supply by 50%, and government is determined to bridge the 50% deficit through aquaculture development and the expansion of family fish farming across the entire coast and inland water communities of this country. Government aims to reduce in the short term the importation of fish by at least 20%. Among other measures, government will this year facilitate the acquisition of 3,000 outboard motors for our fishermen. Mr. Speaker, a new fisheries cold store has also been completed in New Takoradi for the storage and preservation of fish. Work is also progressing on the fish processing factory at Elmina, and I've asked Maslock to put together a revolving fund for the benefit of our fishmongers along the fishing communities. When I announced the 10 million fund for the Youth Enterprise Support Initiative, I assured the youth of Ghana that the initiative will be administered in a fair and non-partisan manner. Since its launch in 2014, the Secretariat of YES has received a total of 2,048 applications. Mr. Speaker, 45% of these applications are for business startups in agriculture and agribusiness. 24% are to set up cottage industries, and 31% of the applications are, however, focused on the services sector. This is an indication of the enthusiasm of our youth to take advantage of government's initiative to go into entrepreneurship. The applications are currently being assessed. Mr. Speaker, let me thank this Honorable House for the debates, the amendments, and the input that went into the passage of the Youth Employment Agency Bill. This agency is envisaged to employ 100,000 of our youth. This forms part of government's effort to create more jobs for the Ghanaian youth. The cocoa industry continues to play a pivotal role in our economy. The producer price of cocoa has gone up by 62.74%. That is from 3,392 Ghana cedis per ton to 5,520 Ghana cedis per ton. For the 2014-2015 cocoa season, the Ghana Cocoa Board will continue the free fertilizer application program for cocoa farmers. The board will also distribute a total of 50 million improved cocoa seedlings free of charge to farmers. Ahead of that, it has recruited 4,000 people in 87 cocoa growing communities who have planted and are nursing the seedlings. On the occasion of the second anniversary of my administration last month, I spent the day in the cocoa growing community of Asim Senchim in the central region. I was on the farm of a young cocoa farmer, Samuel Toby, and his enthusiastic young friends who have all taken to cocoa farming. I felt encouraged that there's an emerging young generation of cocoa farmers who will take over from the older generation. Indeed, today I invited Mr. Samuel Toby and his friends to be my guest at this State of the Nation event, and I presume he should be somewhere in the gallery. Yeah. Thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, I've requested Cocoa Board to unveil a program to acquire land to engage more young people in cocoa farming. Markets play an important role in the socio-economic development of our people, and markets support our women empowerment agenda, revenue mobilization, efforts of the MDAs, and provide direct or indirect employment for a substantial proportion of our active labor force. Historically, many of our important settlements, including Kumasi and Cape Coast, owe their rapid expansion to commerce and trade. I'm happy to report to the House that reconstruction work on the new Kotokraba market in Cape Coast and the Abuabu market in Tamale are progressing steadily. Work on the whole central market is ongoing, and construction of the new Kumasi Central Market will begin soon. Mr. Speaker, tourism continues to be a major foreign exchange earner after gold and cocoa and foreign remittances. In 2014, a total of 319,000 direct and indirect jobs were created. The Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts will continue to promote festivals and events such as the Homowo Festival, Emancipation Day, the Kwawu Paragliding Festival, and the National Chocolate Day, among others. We'll continue to strengthen the linkages between hotel, catering, and tourism by building capacity through the Hotel Catering and Tourism Training Institute, HOTCAT. Through these efforts, the creative arts industry will be offered enhanced outlets for industry to flourish. I look forward to an enhanced and mutually beneficial partnership between creative arts industry and government in the coming months. Mr. Speaker, while we continue to build more hospitals and schools, other critical sectors such as water, roads, transport, ICT, and telecommunication sectors continue to engage our attention. Development of key infrastructure is not only for job creation, but also for general socio-economic transformation. It is estimated that Ghana suffers an infrastructural funding gap of about $1.5 billion a year. While creating a conducive environment for the private sector to participate in infrastructure development, government in 2014 took a decisive step and started the process for the establishment of a Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund. The fund is financed by receipts from a VAT levy and contributions from tax, which has a funding mechanism already approved by Parliament. The Ghana Investment Infrastructure Fund will serve as a vehicle to mobilize resources to scale up the development of critical infrastructure in the country. It will also help in the implementation of a more sustainable debt management strategy, which focuses on viable commercial projects with appreciable return on investment and repayment mechanisms through escrows and debt service accounts. With the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund, we should reduce the funding gap for infrastructure projects considerably and execute projects needed to help drive our desired growth as a lower middle income country. We've spent in excess of $1.1 billion on the construction of new water systems and the expansion of some existing ones across the country. Water is a basic necessity of life, yet for many decades, vast sections of our people had no access to it, contributing to the spread of water-related diseases. Today, thanks to the massive improvement in potable water supply, the World Health Organization, after evaluating Ghana last year, revealed that we have successfully eradicated the guinea worm disease. We are awaiting the appropriate certification to that effect. We have, over the last 2 years, reversed significantly the unacceptable hardship many of our women and children especially go through in their search for water. Across the length and breadth of the country, various water projects are ongoing and others are at various stages of completion. At the end of this year, 2015, we will be covering 76% of the entire country, both rural and urban areas with good drinking water. This is a fulfillment of the prescriptions of our National Water Policy and work program of the 2012 manifesto of the NDC, which seeks 100% water coverage for our people by the year 2025. Mr. Speaker, in fulfillment of the pledge I made during my address last year to complete and deliver a number of major water projects, I am happy to report that on the eve of last year's Christmas, I commissioned the Kpong Water Expansion Project and opened the valve to commence the flow of 20 million gallons of water to households and businesses in the northeastern part of Accra. An additional 20 million gallons is available and scheduled to start flowing at the end of this month to achieve the set daily capacity of the plant, which is 40 million gallons of water. Mr. Speaker, for over 700,000 residents of this area whose taps were running for the first time in almost 20 years, it was the best Christmas gift I could have given them. Mr. Speaker, these residents include those living in Adenta, in Adjiringano, in Ashalibotwe, North, East, and West Legon, in Madina, Hacho, Abokobi, and other areas. Last year in July, we completed work on the Kpong Intake Rehabilitation Project, which is currently contributing 3.3 million gallons of water per day to the Greater Accra metropolitan area. Beneficiary communities include Dodoa, Ningo, Pram, all in the Greater Accra region, and the Ekwapim Ridge in the Eastern region. Mr. Speaker, still on the water sector, we also completed the Accra-Tema Metropolitan Area Water Supply Project, which has added 9,200,000 new gallons of water per day to water supply in the Greater Accra Metropolitan Area. And this has improved water supply to an estimated 250,000 people. The beneficiary communities include Michelle Camp, Afienya and surrounding areas, Ayitepa, Bonguno, Omankope, Doryumu, Bawaleshi, Oyibi, Amanfro, Frafraha, Ayikuma, Pantang, and surrounding areas. Aprede, Edukrom, Awukugwa, Dewu, and surrounding areas. Mr. Speaker, Ekropong, Manfi, Amanokrom, Tutu, and surrounding areas. New Senchi, Akrade, and Senchi, and surrounding areas. Mr. Speaker, we've also introduced into our water production mix a desalination water project, which is the first ever desalination plant in this country. The Teshi Nungwa plant is currently supplying 13.2 million gallons of water per day to about 500,000 people in Teshi Nungwa, the Teshi military barracks, Bachona, Sakumono, and parts of La Dadekotopong. Total water supply to the capital, Accra, has thereby increased by more than 65.7 million gallons of water per day. Through these investments, we have been able to outstrip the demand for water in the Greater Accra metropolitan area by 2.7 million gallons per day. The vision to end totally the problems of water shortages has not been limited to the urban areas of the country alone, or for that matter, to Accra alone. New water systems have been completed and have been commissioned at Enyinam, Kibi, Osinase, Apedra, Kwabeng, and surrounding areas. The Asante Mampong water supply I commissioned the Kibi one myself. The Asante Mampong water supply project is also now supplying the inhabitants of Damang, Dahong, Basafo, Besiase, Shemfaso, Krobo, Mpenya, Dadiase, Bonkrom, Unsuta, and Biposo with clean drinking water. The Nsawam water supply project and the Sachere water project have also been completed. Mr. Speaker, from the Upper East and Upper West regions through Sunyani in the Bronga-Hafu region down to Accra, many more projects are at various stages of completion. When completed, this will bring a lot of relief to our people, especially to our women and our children. Mr. Speaker, we've already set in motion the processes to meet future demand for water in view of population growth. And so plans are being finalized to undertake the following projects to ensure reliability and sustainability of water supply from 2015 to the year 2030. These include the Kwong Water Supply Expansion Phase 2 project, the Wager Water Supply Expansion project, and the Esuchari Water Supply project. One other critical area of focus for government is housing. The estimated housing deficit for Ghana is 1.7 million. Projects targeting the middle to lower income brackets and giving them an opportunity to own decent homes are being rolled out. Mr. Speaker, largely focused in towns and urban centers, these include a 5,000 affordable housing project which is underway at Saglemi in the Ningo district of the Greater Accra region. The first 200 houses, I'm informed, should be ready for occupancy by the close of this year. 168 housing units with related infrastructure has been completed and handed over to the security services. Work on an additional 368 housing units under the phase 2 of this project has also started. Another 5,000 affordable housing units branded Nyamidria Estates, also in Pong, is almost 70% complete. And we've also made considerable progress towards completing a total of 4,720 affordable housing units scattered in 5 regions of the country. These projects were started in 2006 under the government of President Kufuor in the Greater Accra, Ashanti, Northern, Upper West, and Eastern regions. Mr. Speaker, to further consolidate the gains we are making, we are developing the following: a national housing policy, a Ghana building code and review of building regulations, legislation on condominium properties, and the establishment of a regulatory agency for the real estate sector. We're working on many road projects to open up the country to reduce traffic accidents, boost economic activities, and bring foodstuffs to the market centers with ease. Despite the large number of road projects underway, there still remains a lot to be done. There's, however, considerable evidence to show that no effort is being spared to fix our country's roads. This year, we're beginning what will be the single largest intervention in the road sector in the history of this country. The project will see investments of about $1 billion Ghana cedis, in roads commencing this year and ending in 2019 during my second term in office. Mr. Speaker, I said the project will see investments of about 1 billion Ghana cedis in roads commencing this year and ending in 2019 during my second term in office. By the grace of God. Mr. Speaker, these projects will be funded with a mix of Cocoa Infrastructure Fund financing and Government of Ghana budgetary support. In the Western region, work is progressing steadily on the 110-kilometer Agona Junction-Elubu Road, the 94-kilometer Takwa-Bogoso Ayamfuri Road, and the 52-kilometer Ayamfuri-Asawinsi Road. Other road works in the region that will see intensified work include Sefibekwai Eshiem Sefirioso Akontombra, Pristia Samreboy Road, Benchema Osekojo Krom Road, and the Dwabuso Bodi Akontombra Road. Mr. Speaker, in Sekendi Takrade, and I'm sure Papa Usankuma will be happy about this, 20 kilometers of the town roads have been asphalted. And he'll be very happy to hear that work is about to start on another 25 kilometers of road. Construction work is also ongoing on the Kansarodo bypass, the Fijai bypass, and the Ntankofo link to help improve access within the Twin City. Mr. Speaker, work has resumed on Lot 2 and 4 of the Eastern Corridor Road in the Volta region. These are the Esikuma Junction, Peve do de Papasu, Onkwanta Otidamanko stretches. A number of roads have meanwhile been completed in the region and others are ongoing. These are the Sogakope Bato, Dwapon Fojoku, Togome, Ketekrachi Buya, Ho Fume, Raura Dambai, Bami Jolokwita Peje, Ho Adidome, and Aduto Akutukope, among others. Mr. Speaker, others are Metrikasa Haveji, Metrikasa to Haveji, Golokwati Wili Hohoi Roads, Tajevu Town Roads, and Hohoi Town Roads. Mr. Speaker, here in the capital Accra, various road projects are visible to all regular users. The East Legon Enclave roads have been resurfaced and others reconstructed. The Kwame Nkrumah interchange is changing the landscape of the center of Accra. While work on the Gifford Road, which is popularly called the Elwak Road, is progressing smoothly. And even before it is open fully to traffic, the benefits of this road, 37 to La Palm Junction, are being felt by motorists. Mr. Speaker, the Awoshi-Pokwasi Road has been open to traffic, pending final completion of the works and other ancillary social interventions like markets, hospital, schools, and a lorry park. Also ongoing in Accra are the Bema Camp Road Phase 1 and Phase 2 projects, including the Spintex Road Bypass, the Nungwa-Sakumono Beach Road, the Ashaman Highway Road, and the popular Rasta Bush Road. This year, we will commence work on the redevelopment of the Accra-Tema motorway into a 6-lane highway with interchanges. We also intend to undertake resurfacing works on roads in North and South Kanda, in Jamestown, in Adabraka, Mamprobi, Choko, Adenta, and Medina. Mr. Speaker, in the northern region, the 147-kilometer Fufuso Solar Road is almost completed. The Bupe Tamale asphalt overlay has also been completed. Mr. Speaker, the Nakpanduri to Otidamanko portion of the Eastern Corridor is ready to commence, and I will join the people in communities in that section of the road to cut the sod for commencement of road works on the 4th of March. Mr. Speaker, in the central region, work on the Kaswa interchange, which comes with a major community upgrading component involving construction of schools, provision of hospitals, water, would commence in the next few weeks. This project will remove one of the most frustrating bottlenecks in this country's road network. The Kaswa bypass, Mankesim Abura Dunkwa, Asing Trifo, Praso, Asiam Town roads, and the Breman Esikuma Amanfopong Road are but a few of the ongoing works to improve roads in the central region. Mr. Speaker, in the eastern region, work has resumed on the Kwafu Krom Apedra Road, and it will be completed this year. Also to receive renewed attention are the Nsawam Apedra Road, the Nsawam Eburi Road, the Suhum Asamankesi Road, the Nkoko Etibie Road, the Otekpolu Odumasi Road. It's ongoing. Mr. Speaker, in Ashanti region, work on the Sofo Line interchange will be completed this year. Last year, I was honored to commission the Asim-Praso Bekwai Road, which also came with a 2-lane bridge over the Pra River. I also inspected some 20 kilometers of Kumasi town roads which have been upgraded. And as I said, some in minority leaders' constituency. Mr. Speaker, another 40 kilometers of Kumasi town roads are going to be upgraded this year. Other major projects ongoing in the region include the Bomfa Junction, Asiwa, Bekwai Road, Bekwai Ampaha Asiwa, Kumawu Timate, Drobonso Road, and Ajenkwaso Anumabo Jedem roads. Mr. Speaker, in the Bronga-Hafu region, the Nsoko Namasi section of the Winchi Sampa Road, the Berikum Sampa Road, Atebubu Kwame Danso Kwajo Krom Road, Mr. Speaker, the Goso Kukum Junction Road, the road from Prang to Kintampo, Kintampo to Abease, and Mr. Speaker, this very critical road, Doma Hinkro and Kran Kwanta roads, will all receive attention. In the Upper East region, the Navrongo Tumu Road, Navrongo Tono Road, Bolgatanga Bongo, and Winkongo Tongo roads, as well as Bolga Boko Misiga Kulungungu, and Sandima Wiesi roads are going to receive attention. In the Upper West region, the Nadoli Laura Hamile Road, Wa Bulenga, Wa Dorimong, Wa Hang, Tumu Hang, and Navrongo Tumu roads, together with the construction of steel bridges on the Yala Sombisi, Tantale Tuvu, Tuvu Lasabisi, and Wa Waliwali roads will all be constructed. This demonstrates our commitment to giving people of that region more traveled roads. Mr. Speaker, the key initiative under the Cocoa Roads project, which begins this year, is going to see bituminization of a number of roads, feeder roads, urban roads, and highways, and they are earmarked for construction. We have awarded the first phase of projects, and the contractors have been asked to mobilize to site. I'm mentioning the roads so that honorable members can monitor. In the feeder roads section in Ashanti region, we will put bitumen surfacing on the Atase Nkwantang Owusu Krom feeder road. There will be bitumen surfacing of the Manfo Subrisu Fanti feeder road. In the central region, bitumen surfacing of Camp to Ajum feeder road, Brofu Yedru Odu feeder road, Nkwanta Mempesem feeder road, Mempesem, bitumen surfacing of the Jamra Adandang feeder road, Mr. Speaker, Ekwamwase Offabil feeder road. In the eastern region, bitumen surfacing of all the following roads, Noyem to Winso to Amwana and Praso feeder road. Mr. Speaker, Mangwasi Kukua feeder road. Mr. Speaker, Chia Brenase Ofwase feeder road. In the western region, the feeder roads are Achim Sekre Abekwase feeder road, Dwaboso to Dadieso feeder road, Anto Dompem Daboase feeder road, Edwinase Atobiase feeder road. Mr. Speaker, for members in Volta region, Dapa Junction to Pampawie Ahamanso feeder road, Lekanti Nananko feeder road, Aburubua to Obanda feeder road, Dodi Papaso Mensa Krom Asoboy feeder road. Mr. Speaker, and for those in the Brongahafu region, Dadia Swaba to Trebidi feeder road, Doma Hinkro to Bebianiha feeder road, Anchirifo to Danyami feeder road, Esuade Junction to Esuade feeder road. Under urban roads, the following roads have been earmarked in Ashanti region. Selected roads in New Edubiase, that's a New Edubiase Township, and then rehabilitation of Bekwai Town roads. Mr. Speaker, rehabilitation of Doma Hinkro Town roads, construction of Goso Town roads will all be effected. In the central region, rehabilitation of Dunkwa Town roads. All these are under the Cocoa project. Rehabilitation of Seshiri also Town roads, rehabilitation of Daboase Town roads. Mr. Speaker, in the eastern region, rehabilitation of Suhum Town roads, rehabilitation of Chebi Town roads, and I will personally invite my colleague and friend Nana Akufo-Addo to join me when we commission this particular road. Let me acknowledge, I've been informed Nana Akufo-Addo is here. Let me acknowledge his presence. We spent 12 wonderful years together in this chamber, and I'm sure that any time we come here, we have a strong sense of nostalgia being with you, members of parliament. Thank you. Respects, Nana. Mr. Speaker, under the highway sector, the following highways are to be constructed under the Cocoa Roads program. Mr. Speaker, this will be the Edubiase Anomabo Road, the Amantia Obuasiwa Road, the Obuasi Junction Dunkwa Ayamfuri Road. Mr. Speaker, upgrading of the Gambia number 2 Chremansu Road, the Tepa Junction Gosu Road, Kofi Bedu Krom Junction to Kofi Bedu Krom Road. In the Central Region, upgrading of Dunkwa Trifopraso Asimfosu Road. In the Western Region, upgrading of Akontomra Sefiviosu Road, upgrading of Daboase Atieku Road, Enchi Dadiesu Road, Akontomra Bodi Road, and in a Brim Sui Bodi Junction Road, upgrading of this Ajuafua to Osei Kojo Krom Road. In the Volta region, Kitekrachi to Buya, Shia Honutakpeje Road will be reconstructed. Reconstruction of the Suhum Asamankesi Road, Adeso Asamankesi Road, and Sawam Adeso Asamankesi Road. Mr. Speaker, Baba Jamal, Osinasi Akwetia Road, Apedra Chebi Bonsu Road, and Mr. Speaker, the Koforidwa Bonsu Road. All these under the Cocoa Roads project. Mr. Speaker, there's a phase 2. A number of feeder roads have been selected under this second phase of the Cocoa Roads. Those will be awarded this year. And this is the last batch. Under those roads, we'll have the Dausaso Ayem Dwenase feeder road. We would have Abodom Dotom Subrisu feeder road. We'll have Subrisu Junction to Subrisu feeder road. We'll have Amanchia Tetrem feeder road. Then we have Mfensi Asakraka Nkontomre Nerebihi feeder road. Mr. Speaker, Anyina Susu Abonsuaso Nyamiadum Danyami feeder road. And then we have the Amaje feeder road. We have the Subriso feeder road, Omofram Apinto feeder road, Etia Nkwama Nkwanta Camp Nkwanta feeder road, Odumasi Ayerbi feeder road, Akwase Subriso feeder road, Labikrom Bedukrom feeder road, Shwapiase Behinase Junction feeder road, Kwabwanta Junction to Amako Brekumaso feeder road, Akwase Akadewaso feeder road, and we also feeder road. Mr. Speaker, there are so many of them. Mr. Speaker, you have the George Krom Junction to George Krom, New Brekum feeder roads, Kakabo Junction to Kakabo feeder road. I'm taking my time to go through them so that honorable members can monitor if the contractors are on site. Mr. Speaker, Dwabeso Nkwanta Bonsu Nkwanta feeder road, Adabo Krom Camp 15 feeder road, Asawanso Mile 81 feeder road, Anyinaso Kwesu Krom feeder road, Owusu Krom Junction to Owusu Krom feeder road, Kwasuo Jankufa feeder road, John Krom Atta Krom feeder road. And in the Bronga-Afu region, Akrode Kanchamwa feeder road, Asumura Tipo Krom feeder road, Bopa Fojo Krom feeder road, Yamfo Ansuade and Same feeder road, Sankori Abum Nankete feeder roads. Mr. Speaker, Central Region, Afran Senyaku Krom feeder road, Boabin Brentuo Krom feeder road, Nya Krom Bobikuma feeder road, Diaso Asamang feeder road, Nkwantanum and Asaman feeder roads. Under the highways and urban roads, these will be awarded in April. And Mr. Speaker, all these roads I'm talking about are bituminous surfacing. Bituminous surfacing, not gravel, not re-graveling. Mr. Speaker, government has embarked on a program to expand facilities and address the growing needs of our maritime business community and neighboring landlocked countries. We've already completed under phase 1 of the Takrady Port Expansion Program, the construction of 1.18 kilometers of breakwater into the sea. Currently ongoing is the dredging and reclaiming of the sea to construct the lee side breakwater to create berthing facilities for direct loading and unloading of bauxite and manganese exports, as well as clinker and limestone imports. The Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority and the Meridian Port Services are collaborating to expand the Tema port to create several hectares of port operational area, including deep draft berths for vessels drawing 15 meters of water or more. The total investment in Tema is estimated to be about $1.5 billion. The first berth under this project should be completed by October 2016. In all, there will be 4 berths of 1,400 key length that will have the capacity of almost 3 million tons. In addition, a 450-meter jetty is currently under construction inside Tema to allow for the bulk discharge of bulk cargo, for the fast discharge of bulk cargo, in particular clinker and cement. This project should be ready for use by the first quarter of 2016. As you know, Mr. Speaker, the Ghana Maritime Authority has installed a Vessel Traffic Management Information System, VTMIS, while work is almost complete on the development of the Takrade Logistics Platform to provide warehousing facilities for the oil and gas industry. To improve transport on the Volta Lake, 3 units of 50-seater high-speed passenger ferries have been procured and delivered to Akosombo for assembly, while the construction of a 1-unit modular passenger cargo ferry has also been completed and is ready for shipment. The ferries will be in operation by the second quarter of next year. Mr. Speaker, massive investments continue to be made to further develop and upgrade the country's aviation infrastructure. Increasing volumes of passengers and cargo have exacted a toll on the country's only international airport, the Kotoka International Airport, and stretched it to its limits. Last year, over 40,000 flights were recorded at our airports. In the same period, total passenger throughput stood at over 2.5 million passengers, compared with a little over 1.3 million passengers in 2009. This represents an almost 100% increase. Mr. Speaker, the arrival hall expansion project in Terminal 2 of the Kotoka Airport is nearing completion. Indeed, parts of the new arrival hall have been opened for use, and those of you who have come through it recently will see the good job that has been done there. It will be fully completed this year. Mr. Speaker, work will start this year, by the second quarter of this year, on an ultra-modern international terminal to be known as Terminal 3. Procurement has been completed, and we will soon cut the sod for the work to start. In July last year, work began on the Tamale International Airport Project Phase 1. This phase of the project will be completed by the end of this year. Phase 2 will see the construction of a new terminal and a dedicated Hajj terminal for Muslims embarking on the holy pilgrimage to Mecca. Mr. Speaker, the first phase of the Kumasi International Airport project, involving the modernization of the runway, installation of critical aeronautical ground lighting systems, and instrument landing systems, among other equipment, has been completed. Mr. Speaker, I'm informed 9th operations into Kumasi have indeed commenced, and I hear the 9 flights are very popular with my colleague members of this House whose constituencies are in Ashanti, because it makes it possible to finish the hard work in this August House and catch the 9th flight to Kumasi while the fufu and akrantia is still hot. Mr. Speaker, Phase 2 of the Kumasi project will involve the construction of an ultra-modern terminal building and the further extension of the runway to accommodate bigger aircrafts. Mr. Speaker, government is committed to the redevelopment of the railway industry in line with the recently completed Ghana Railway Master Plan. The plan entails the construction and modernization of the existing rail network to be followed by the extension of rail lines to other regions. Suburban rail services will start on the Takrady to Sekondi line via Kojokrom in the third quarter of this year to ease the ever-increasing road congestion and reduce travel time in the Twin City. The Ghana Railway Company will be deploying new air-conditioned diesel multiple train units on this line. Mr. Speaker, other projects that are being developed by the Ghana Railway Development Authority include the reconstruction of the Accra to Nsawam and the Kumasi to Ejisu suburban rail lines. The construction of these lines is strategic since they form a section of the main lines, while their completion in the interim will help reduce road congestion in Accra and Kumasi. As part of the Eastern Railway Line redevelopment plan, a rail link between Tema Port and the Boankra Inland Port will be developed to improve the operational efficiency of the Tema Port and make it a preferred port, especially for the shippers of our landlocked countries of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. To provide the Ghanaian public with greater options and flexibility in road transport, public transportation is being improved through the acquisition of a total of 490 city buses to strengthen the operation of two public transport companies, namely the Metro Mass Transit, the Intercity STC, and the implementation of the Bus Rapid Transit project. Mr. Speaker, many of these buses have been designed to allow for easy access by persons with disability. Mr. Speaker, DVLA has since September last year commenced the enforcement of non-registration of vehicles without seat belts and compulsory installation of seat belts. This is a key step towards ensuring the safety of passengers and reduction in casualties during road accidents. This has become more necessary in view of the road accident statistics we have gathered between January and September 2014, which showed that 10,061 road traffic crashes were recorded in the country, involving 15,600 vehicles, and a staggering 1,441 people died, and as many as 8,800 people were injured in these accidents. Mr. Speaker, you understand these statistics if any of these victims were your relative. Mr. Speaker, last year I promised to complete the Eastern Corridor Fiber Optic Project, which will serve over 120 communities along the route from Ho to Boko, with a link from Yendi to Tamale. I wish to report that the project has been completed. The overall optic fiber installation is over 800 kilometers. The fiber has also been extended to the University of Health and Allied Sciences. This project will open up the Eastern Corridor to the Information Superhighway and offer not only teaching and learning opportunities, but also bring the digital economy closer to people living in this area. A growing telecommunications industry requires a dynamic regulatory framework which ensures customer satisfaction, good return on investment, and adequate participation of the Ghanaian private sector. To this end, in August 2014, Cabinet approved 4 policies: the Mobile Virtual Network Operating License, the Interconnect Clearing House License, the International Wholesale Carrier License, and the Unified Telecom License. It is expected that unimpeded implementation of this policy will inure to the benefit of all stakeholders. Mr. Speaker, I want to see more females venture into ICT and telecom sector. Ms. Farida Bedwe, service to the nation on the board of the National Communications Authority, serves as an encouragement to many girls who are thinking of venturing into ICT and telecommunications. Farida, who is also with us this morning, I'm informed, has distinguished herself creditably on the NCA board. I think Farida is here. Yes, okay. My respect, Farida. Mr. Speaker, to encourage more girls to develop interest in ICT and telecommunications, Ghana has been observing the Girls in ICT Day as part of the celebration of the day. Girls from public schools are brought together, tutored and mentored to develop interest in the study and use of ICTs. Madam Ivaloko and her team are championing this initiative with the support of the Ministry of Communications. Last year, 411 girls from 48 public schools participated in the program in the Eastern region. These promising young girls were trained using the community information centers being constructed across the country. In furtherance of the commitment of government to use the medium of ICT to promote an all-inclusive information and knowledge society to benefit underserved and unserved communities, government